All right, everybody, we are back. And I got her cleaned up already. See what they look like in there. I took a little sandpaper, got rid of the little bit of sloppy stuff, epoxy that squeezed out. That came out real nice. There's a little bit of gap there. I'm going to force some epoxy in there. We'll have that 100%, 100%. We are going to glass bed today. And you've seen this before. Just put a small piece of clay. Whoop, that one came off. That's how much clearance I have at the front of the rifle. About a heavy 16th. Very light 8th, either way you want to call it. I got about an 1/8 inch right there, and that's about where this line is, and that's about how far we're going to go forward. I'm going to have about an 1/8 inch all the way through here. The grooves on the nut, the bottom 3 that are going to be setting in glass, I'm going to fill them with this same modeling clay. You got it in there. When you pull it out there, something has to give. It cracks, it breaks, just looks like hell. Not a very good looking job. I'm going to take a small piece of tape, about yay long, maybe a 1/4 inch wide. I'm going to wrap it right around. The epoxy will squeeze in that groove right here in the front of the nut. There again, you pull it out, something has to give. I'm going to put also about 2 or 3 layers of masking tape on the front of the recoil lug. Man, you see some of these things like the Big J, that was already done. You just got to wiggle, 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 wiggle to get them out of there. Just fight it. That's not necessary. Your recoil's going backward. Give yourself a few thousandths on the front. It'll come right in and out easy. So we're going to go here to here. We're going to come down the sides of each of these. A little bit across here. I'm going to fill these holes. Probably not this one. This one I'm going to plug with modeling clay along with these 2 here. I am going to put the bolts in this one and draw it down tight. There's a possibility with these the barrel could actually go like that with the bolts in there. It is going to be lined up perfect, and you do want to be lined up perfect. That said, when I come back, I'll have everything taped. I'll have everything prepped, ready to go. I did put some brown stain in here so you can see in past the barrel. It isn't white. And I've given it 2 coats of True Oil. So we're good on this end. Let's get this baby ready to rock, and we'll glass bed it in there. This time around, I'm getting low on the other stuff. I replaced. I've got, I don't know if you can read that. Brownell's Acro Glass. Okay, here's the nuts and bolts of it, folks. Got her taped up. I've taken some clay, just rolled it between my hands, put it in there right there. From there on back, we are going to be bedded. That's going to keep that from migrating forward. Everything that's in here, it's going to have to go up or back. Hopefully it comes up and I'll have everything. I'm not worried about looks on this thing. We're worried about having it 100%. I got a piece up front that's just going to help me stabilize it while we're setting it back in the stock. There's what I said I was going to do there. Plug them 2 holes, just wrapped a small piece of masking tape so it doesn't get underneath the nut. The three grooves. As always, Hornady one shot. Don't be stingy with it, it's cheap. Let me mix up the Brownells. We'll get this thing rolling. You don't want to contaminate your stuff, so just wrap a piece of something around your mixing stick. Any folks out there old enough to remember walking in the old hardware stores and they had an industrial duty stapler on them? They come in handy. Piece of cake. Stumbled onto a joint. I picked up 4 old staplers like that, and that's the only one I can find staples for. Let me get this finish mixed here. Alright, we got some mud mixed up. Never seems to fail. You either come up short or you come up with enough to do about 2 guns. I think I got enough to do 2 this go around. So let's see what happens. It's got a weird consistency to it from what I remember of Brownells. Yeah, we got enough. Not going to need much right here in this area because we are basically a perfect fit almost already anyway. Paper thin, that's all it's going to take. So that stuff stays exactly where you put it. That's why you'd use gel. There's another one that stays liquid. Runny, I suppose there's a place for it. Kind of like the 5-minute epoxy, the stuff I was using yesterday to put the pillars in. I wanted it to run in that case. Wow, did I make up enough there, folks? Oh, making a mess. Put a little bit more under that front, under that barrel section. There's some sticky crap, that's for sure. Kind of looks like there's a truckload of it in there, but you eyeball from the front. I'm still not as high. Of course, I got more of that clay in there than I really need too. It's not... I'd say we got enough. One more shot of the Hornady. Because you really, really don't want this thing sticking in there. Okay, remember if you've watched me before, back first, then lay the front end down. Oh yeah. Another reason to be using material that's made for this is your working time. You know, 5-minute epoxy has its place, but it doesn't give you very much time to do anything. One more shot of Hornady. Looks like I'm all the way home. And that sets up. That'll be what it's going to be for the rest of time. Alright, I kind of got her cleaned up where it don't look like epoxy puking out of all the seams. Looking pretty darn good. You can see I got some oozing out from under the recoil lug, the rear end in here. It's oozing forward. Both sides on the inside I can see it oozing. It was oozing here. That gives me 100% coverage here, down both sides here, out about here on the stock. It is going to be 100%. Now that's cleaned up. It don't look as bad as it did. Give me a shot of that guy right there. I have about a little over a 1/16 all the way around, all the way back. About this more time tomorrow. I like to leave them in there for 24 hours minimum. You know, I'll go to work, maybe it'll be in there for 48, who knows. But give it due time. It sets up in probably 24. They say give it a week for it to cure. And that'll be next week, my weekend. Maybe I'll get out if it ain't raining. We'll do some shooting with it. Thanks a lot, folks. I have one more video on this thing. At that time, I'll show you what the inside of this looks like with the action out, what I'm going to end up with, and I'll show you the last trick that I think I'm going to do before I give it a paint job. Thanks a lot, folks.